Hey, Nick.
Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to
Nick.
Beer Analysis 101 with your host, Maxwell Starr, celebrating 11 years on YouTube tonight. And tell anybody about that.
Yay!
It's
Wow.
a lot of my life wasted,
Very
I know.
fast.
But tonight on BA 101, we're not doing what we said we were going to do last week. What a shocker. One of our favorite panel members couldn't be here tonight. So we're doing a different beer so she can be in on that one. We're going to do a classic from Mill Street. This is actually Mill Street's very first beer. I didn't know that. But we're taking a look at their classic, original, organic lager. Woohoo. 4.2% ABV. Released in 2002 when the brewery opened.
My can's
Alrighty. What? Your can's white? Alrighty. So, moving right along, let's introduce who we have with us tonight. And starting off with Mr. Beard. Hello, Mr. Beard.
I was trying to. I don't even know how it was going to work out. This was my joke. Look, I got the wrong beer, but look, I have the right beer. I don't know. I paid $3 to basically drink a gross beer. I guess after this.
None of us are
That's a weird thing.
savvy enough to have gotten that.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. How you doing, Nick?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm actually kind of interesting. Like, not that so much that the Amber Lager is interesting, but didn't that used to be called 100th Meridian Amber Organic Lager or something?
I think
believe it did. Yes.
Changed the name? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. They've got organic this, organic the one we're having, organic IPA or something.
Now, does it say original organic Amber Lager on it too?
You know what? Actually, in the top, in gold writing, that's hard to read. It says still says 100 Meridian.
Oh, it still says 100 Meridian. So it's just basically making the can look like the organic lager. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting side note. So cheers, Redbeard. Let's get on to the next person we have with us for the panel tonight, which is Mr. Lee of High Tide Imbibe. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing fine, Nicholas. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad.
Good.
I prefer Lee when he was a lady.
Most people do. So
well, if we can't have the lady, at least we can have the Mr. Lee.
I guess it's a poor substitution, but here I am.
Yeah, well, we like having you around anyway. All right, so let's move on to thank you, Lee. Let's move over to Mr. Ashley, another guy that we kind of miss having on this panel.
Oh,
I meant that. I mean that too. I wasn't just saying that.
You melt my heart.
Oh God.
Miss you too.
That's just the goat.
It's just the goat talking. Yeah, great to be here. Happy to see everyone. Nice full panel. Should be a good review. Hope you're having a great night as well.
Oh, thank you, sir. All right, let's move on to another person that we hardly see around anymore, but also glad to have him is Mr. Guy of Chance of Drinking Canada.
So this is milled organs?
Yes.
I like that double butt.
What?
There's a butt.
There's two butts.
It looks like a butt with a wet fart kind of coming.
Or the top of somebody's head shoved into that butt.
No, I think that's a
spice at the top. While wearing Canada hat, I like that. It's like eat my ass, eat the can.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nice.
So, thank you, Guy. Let's move on to last but certainly least. But we got Mr. Greg here.
I'm a poor substitution for the albino rhino. Let's all go to the Arctic and make money. Yay! We didn't make any money. Boo.
Wow.
What the hell, Greg?
Tonight you decide to vent. Wow. That's fucked up.
Fuck. Greg is always here, so we can't say that we missed him or anything.
It's not like the person in question will even have a good enough internet to ever watch this show. Prove me wrong.
It hurts to say this, but we do appreciate Greg sometimes. So
sometimes, not too often.
Not all the time, but just sometimes. All right, thank you, Greg. Let's move on to talk about the history of this beer because we're actually doing a real beer analysis this week instead of a BYOB because somebody got super lazy and had COVID. I have to say that again just to make sure. So it's been a while since we looked at a Mill Street beer, but we don't need to go into too much detail since we've already looked at Mill Street before. So that's a recap. Mill Street Brewery opened its doors in 2002 in Toronto's Distillery District. At 55 Mill Street. The building that Mill Street originally opened in was called the Tank House Number 3. Originally built in 1879 to house bulk spirits waiting to be filled into barrels. Later, they moved production to Scarborough in 2006 and reopened the original location as a brew pub, with brew pubs opening in the following years in Ottawa and even Toronto Pearson Airport. And there's like, I didn't add this part, but there's like, I think Mill Street breweries are popping up in cities all over Ontario now, isn't there?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they still make Tank House Ale?
We don't get it here anymore. I thought they do.
I haven't seen it for a while. I didn't think they discontinued it, but I haven't seen it.
That used to be one of my favorite go-tos before they got bought up and it went down in quality.
They're still open in Newfoundland. I think they're St. John's.
Well, according to this, it's still on their site. You can buy a 12-pack for $35.
So everything's everything's organic ale now with them, right?
Yeah, Tank House Organic Pale Ale.
Yeah, they're like the new Bose.
But I remember that being a pretty damn delicious beer, like kind of like an early hoppy pale ale kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving back to the history, let's talk about the beer we have tonight. So Mill Street's first beer, and still one of their most popular, I think it is their most popular, is Mill Street Organic Lager, tonight's beer. This beer weighs in at 4.2% ABV, 10 IBUs, and is brewed with Canadian organic 2-row pale barley malts, Pacific Gin and Wakatu hops, for both hops from New Zealand, and a German strain of lager yeast. Ooh, fancy. So, let's go back out to panel view here. And who do we have first? Let's go with Redbeard. Redbeard, do you have any history with Mill Street Organic Lager?
Yeah, I just watched, what was it, beer review number 68 on my channel. So one of the first craft beers kind of in my beer journey. And I loved it back then. I think I might have had it a handful of times since then, just because lagers aren't really the thing I gravitate towards. But I was invited to a dinner at Mill Street a few years ago. That was kind of cool. So I've been to Mill Street. Their brewery is really cool.
Fucking influencer.
But they've never made anything that's really, really wowed me, though, to be honest. So there's my history.
Cool. All right. So let's move on to Mr. Lee. Lee, what's your history with Millhouse Organic?
Millhouse.
Millhouse. Did I say Millhouse?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Oh, Milfhouse. Where's
Milfhouse? Yes,
I wish I had a history of Milfhouse. That would be great.
That'd be a great place to live in.
Yeah. So I guess I started seeing their products pop up right around early 2000s, somewhere around then. I can't quite remember when they showed up in the Maritimes, but they were kind of like a bit more trendy, probably targeted towards like college kids and stuff like that, kind of thing, because they had a slick design and everything was kind of cool and trendy. It's like, come to our Mill Street bar thingy at our brew pub or whatever. And generally the products were pretty good, and then they got bought out and everything went down because it went through the filtration system. They had their equipment taken out and new equipment put in, and it noticeably changed their stuff. But the organic lager, I did review it. I didn't bother going back to my old review because it's privated anyway, and that part of my channel's dead. So I don't remember what I thought of it necessarily score-wise or anything like that, but I do remember I wasn't like a big fan of this one. And that was back in the day when I was much more like hunting more interesting, bigger beers and stuff like that. And it was all about like, this new Imperial Stout or whatever bullshit, So, I wouldn't give something like this a second glance at the time. So probably good that I guess. But probably good that I'm actually doing a reevaluation of this one now, many years later. So because it's been a long time since I've had anything from Mill Street, so or Milfhouse either.
Gotta love those Milfhouse beers.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you, Lee. Let's move over to Captain Catfish.
Cheers. I had to check my Untapped on this one because I knew I've had this before, I had it back in 2017. I've probably had it since then as well. I've been to the Milf House brewery.
Wall Street.
Whatever.
You know, Ashley lives at the Milf House.
They have a brew pub down in. Where is it, Greg? The brew pub, Mill Street in downtown Toronto.
It's in the Distillery District.
The Distillery District. Thank you. So I've been there like I think 2 times for like work purposes and stuff like that. And I mean, it's not a brand or a product that I really gravitate towards. So really, if I've had this, it's just because it's in someone's fridge at a relative's house, or it was purchased for me and gifted or something like that. So not the biggest Mill Street fan, but their brew pub's fine. But just not a big fan of beer. And that's my history with Mill Street and Mill Street Organic Lager.
All right. Cool. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ash.
No problem.
All right, let's go over to Mr. Guy. Guy, what's your history with Mill Street?
It must have been when I first started beer guy reviews, because that's been 9 years ago that I reviewed it. That's all I know. I had a few times probably on tap at Swiss Chalet. That's it. Just like beer.
Oh, your Swiss Chalet.
It's just like it's on tap at Swiss Chalet. That's what matters most.
That's a fancy Chalet Swiss, man.
Yeah, I know. All of them was Molson Canadian Coors Light at our Swiss Chalet.
All right. Thank you, Guy. Let's move over to who we have next. We got hi, Greg.
Hi, Nick. So first tapped in on November 2nd, 2014. As we all know, the infamous night of 500 plus beers. Still recovering from that.
Hell of a night.
But this probably was one of the first sort of crafty-ish beers I had. So I probably would have had it in 2013 for the first time, because that was when I really started just to try stuff. And at the time, just fancy lagers were like kind of in my wheelhouse, because like an IPA was still kind of scary. Plus, you couldn't really get IPAs all that much. So yeah, it was that. Now, the interesting thing about this beer is, for those of you who know my wife, she's not particularly adventurous, and she usually sticks to one beer. And that beer can change, but it's like once she kind of gets a beer in her head, that's kind of what she will only drink until she finds something else she likes, and then she'll only drink that. So this was her beer for a while, maybe a year or two, where it's like this is all she drank. And so as a result, I probably ended up finishing a lot of her beers over that course of time, and I probably finished more of her beers than I ever drank on my own. So I mean, this is gonna be the first one I had. I think maybe my wife had one last summer or something, so maybe I had a sip or two. But otherwise, this is the first one of these I've had in a while.
Wow,
that's my story.
History with it. That's your story. All right, thank you, Greg. And who's next? Oh, me. I gotta give my story on this thing. So yeah, like when I first reviewed this, when I first reviewed this, it was episode number 195 in fall of 2011. So it's been more than 10 years ago that I posted my review of it. I know I had Mill Street's beers way back before then, because my late fiance, one of her favorite beers was Tank House. And it was Mill Street beers were a very common sight around here back in that point. I know we used to buy the tasters packs, the ones that had the multiple types of beer in it, just out of curiosity. So it was probably had it back in like 2009 or 10, and it was just basically bought it and drank it because it was in the pack. And I remember it came in the clear bottle. Remember. I'll share my screen just to.
Oh yes, I remember.
The original review. It had this like skunky clear bottle that I remember. It wasn't a beer that really impressed me. It was a little on the light side and kind of a little like drinking the water out of a can of mushrooms or something like that. It was just kind of a weird, oddly grassy tasting metallic water.
You had the bottles at LCBO. Do they still look like that? They were in a
they still sell them in bottles.
We still sell them in bottles, but do they actually still look like that? That's my question.
Okay.
I'd assume it's probably changed. Just like I think this has changed a bit from its original look. mistaken.
Yeah, it's all just a branding update. They still have those clear bottles. They're just printed with new fonts and stuff.
I actually thought I was going to have to buy a 6-pack because the first 3 places I went only had 6-packs, which were on sale right now, like $1.50 off. Ooh. But I went to the Sobeys, had them in singles. So
actually, funny enough, I'm sort of flipping through on Untapped, and there's just random people posting pictures of what the bottles look like now. That really does not look all that different from what it used to.
No,
It's still
I still wouldn't buy that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, maybe
it looks like default fonts.
Yeah, I mean that looks like if that got left out on a grocery store shelf for for 3 months, it probably wouldn't be one I would want to go near.
Yeah,
the 6-pack holder I saw does have the entire thing covered in cardboard. So
yeah, when you get it at the LCBO, it's pretty light proof.
So it's not like a 4-pack with the open top.
No,
I do remember that was also one of the reasons why I was so dismissive of it in the first place, because it's back then I was even more anti-clear bottles and stuff like that. I was really a stickler for that kind of thing. So it's if you're putting your beer in a clear bottle, I'm probably not going to be interested in it. It's just too much could go wrong. So
yeah, exactly. Light struck beers. I mean, remember when Innocent Gun used to, when I first had it, was you get a light struck bottle of that to really taint your experience with what was otherwise a great tasting beer back in those days.
The YouTube channel
skunk.
Sorry, the YouTube channel Food Theory actually did a really cool video. I believe they used Corona and testing different levels of light struckness on the beer. I can't recall their exact findings, but it's an interesting video.
That's kind of neat. There's a component or something, a molecule in the hops themselves. I forget what it is, but if it gets hit by light photons kind of thing, it breaks apart, and that's what generates the skunky smell you get from the beer. So, and early Moosehead in the green bottles, and Moosehead I'm pretty sure you can still get in the green bottles. Yep. But that was another one that had a big problem. It's not as big of a problem as it used to be. But if you had an open bottle sitting on a shelf for a long time, it would generate that. But thing is, with Moosehead, it actually kind of worked because it kind of made it taste more like a Heineken.
There's coming to think of it, I can't remember what it was, but during that YouTube video, there's some product out there that you can use to de-skunk a beer, and I can't remember what it was.
Interesting.
De-skunk a beer?
I find that hard.
I can't remember.
Man.
All right. So we have a ton of comments here. Anybody want to volunteer to read them?
It's a conversation between Dan and Lee and fucking Lee.
Oh, come on. We don't want to hear Lady Lee talking about Hot MILF House.
Sounds like the name of a brothel where all the girls have had at least one kid.
All right, fine. I'll read it. I'll put myself up front. Hi, Greg. Lady Lee says, woo, woo. And Lee says, woo yourself. Just trying to tell her off. Hot MILF House. Old man, maybe less bitter. Well, it's definitely more bitter than this beer is. Lee Russell says, only if you're the headmistress of Hot MILF House. Man, you guys need to get a room. Hot not a month. Can't be. What, you guys aren't you supposed to be busy? There's plenty of room for porn stars at your age that are not moms. They are called MILFs. It's just sort of like automatically a mature woman is called a MILF, even though she may or may not have had kids.
There are porn
although
stars
I don't think Lady Lee's quite that age yet.
No, there are porn stars who hit age 25 and they start showing up in MILF videos. It's crazy.
I was gonna say, but what happens if you're what if it happens if you have a teen pregnancy? Does that still mean you're a MILF at that point, or
I don't know.
Lady Lee says she's injured, not busy. Oh, I didn't hear about that part. We'll have to talk. Maybe talk about that later.
She hurt her noggin.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Hopefully you're on the mend soon. Dan says, ooh. Yeah, but they get paid to act like that's true. They get paid porn stars that act like MILFs but aren't. They get paid to act like one. So do you actually get extra pay if you're a MILF?
Maybe.
Something anyway, so seems I missed that. I never said why I couldn't make it. I just said I could make it. It's true. She didn't say why she couldn't make it. I just assumed that she was busy or something.
I just assumed
so no, you're good.
manly, and she still might be.
Lisa pretended to be a MILF. You know how to get I have to go through and read all these comments.
Yeah, take a private chat, you perverts.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't had a good time. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna skim over here. Jamie sent me. Big Rome, 40 ounces. Hi, Jamie. It was actually Jamie.
Is that Jamie?
I have no idea.
That's probably
Jamie sent me, so obviously it's either a friend of Jamie's, which I didn't know that Jamie had friends other than us,
or it's one of his sock accounts.
Yeah, it could be a sock account. It could be actually be Ewart trying to rewatch our chats because he misses us.
Fucking tits.
Lee Russell could be a escort at role plays. Hi, Jamie's friends. Jamie has friends? Damn. Don't be jealous, Lee, because Jamie has friends.
Wow.
Maybe I'll have friends someday. That pretty much sums up the chat.
You have friends, we're just not great friends.
Yeah.
You said it, not me.
But you
yeah, I have friends. I have Scott, but I don't hang out with you.
Yeah, you hang out with Scott and you practically killed him by making him drink too much. Good friend, Nick.
Made his diabetes get worse because he wanted to hang out with us online.
Yeah, when he loses that foot, he's really gonna want to give you a hug.
Well, you can push him around in his wheelchair,
You get a peg leg.
Actually, no, you can get a sidecar for your bike, and you put him in that.
Oh, okay. I kind of like the idea of Pirate Scott with a peg leg. I mean, he'll probably lose a hand at some point too. Get the hook.
Get a hook on there. Yeah.
Lose an eye, get an eye patch. Yeah.
You know what? If he loses the foot and the hand, and doesn't lose, one of us just has to bite the bullet. We got to take the eye. Just has to happen.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably take the comment down now, Nick, if you want to.
Yep. Oh, gee, thanks. Beat me in another window doing something.
There you go.
I have to do this all by myself,
Yeah, Nick's got to check out his Pornhub.
No, I got to look up, write down what I'm thinking about this beer because the next phase is to actually talk about what our flavor notes.
Would you be shocked to know
flavor
anything down?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't think you really need to write anything down on this beer.
This is pretty complex. This has got a lot going on.
Here's another question. Greg, I'm just going to remove you for a second. Hey, Radar.
Oh, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Do you have the beer or are you just eating? There you go. So, Radar, we'll get right to basics here. What's your history with this beer?
I think it's the first time I'm going to have it, to be honest with you.
All right.
Well, Mill Street, I've had their IPA, and I think that's about it, actually.
Yeah. You must have had Tank House at least.
Nope. No, none that I know of. So, unless I go see on Gee's channel, maybe I test drove some Mill Street on his channel. But
not that one, but other ones probably.
Probably. That's what I'm going to check right now. But yeah, Mill Street. I mean, there's a Mill Street brewery in Ottawa, and I know a lot of it. I've had their IPAs so many times, and that's pretty much it. I am now searching Gee's repertoire. Oh yeah, Mill Street Madawaska Maple Beer.
Ooh.
6 years ago.
Yeah, that's not this beer.
I know, but
I'm
trying to say that with my history with Mill Street.
Yeah, his story.
I think I had that Madawaska.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah, I think it's the only one. Yeah, it is the only one.
I forgot to mention that part.
But I don't know how much I gave on what my rating was on it, so I didn't even know. Yeah. I don't remember anything of it. So, anyways, hi guys, I'm direct from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. And hello, guys, how's it going there? Redbeard, the Guy, Nick, Lee, and the Schluxicron, Sextonicron, Destroyer of Worlds.
Yeah, Greg.
Good job on destroying that wiping out the city there the other day of racist. Thank you about that.
All right. So also remember to thank Greg for allowing me to pop on this chat for a second. So I'm gonna take you back out so I can put Greg back in. We got to go around and give our thoughts. So get chugging your beer there, Radar. All right, Greg's back. Yay.
I don't really feel like Greg allowed anything. I think Nick just forced it.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So, let's go back around and go to Radar or Redbeard. Sorry, you get the two R's coming in here. Now I'm getting all confused with the names. It's like Milk.
Dare you?
Yeah, Millhouse beers.
First drink, it was weird, and I really was like, "What the hell's going on?" But as I'm into it now, it's just like there's barely any flavor at all going in on there. It's just like a little bit kind of. I don't think they use corn, but I almost kind of get a bit of a corny thing off of it, and it's just smooth, easy drinking. Yeah, I'm gonna go 8 and 7, I guess. Why not? It's not bad.
You just said 8 and 7. Like what? Which is which?
Well, 8,
Style and 7 for overall enjoyment.
Yeah, come on now.
Alrighty, let's go over to Mr. Lee.
This is definitely much better than I seem to recall. The brief fractured memories of it back in the day when I first had it, because I do recall it being kind of skunky when I was having it out of like the glass bottles. Putting it in a can has definitely improved it dramatically, at least in that regard. That being said, it's not great. It's very light and grassy. There's not much body to it or anything like that. It's not overly sweet. I'll give it that. That's a definite plus for this one. Little bit of bitterness at the end, but it doesn't last. And this could really benefit from being more carbonated, maybe a little bit more crisp, maybe a little bit more something at the end to put a little bit of an exclamation point on it. Because other than that, it's just light beer to drink during a warm day, maybe with like a salad or some bullshit like that, right? Because otherwise, there's not much going on. There's no vast flavor profile or anything like that. There's no nuanced notes or any that fucking bullshit. It's just an okay, basically macro lager-ish, pseudo craft-ish hybrid thing, and yeah, it's all right, I guess. Style, basically, I'd say we're kind of like judging this as more of a macro lager than a craft lager at this point, right? Like, kind of.
We're basically there, right?
Yeah,
like we're there.
Yeah, well, it's owned by AB InBev now, so it's pretty much yeah.
Yeah, so and I mean it's
maybe a higher tier of a craft macro, but
I mean they're using their equipment and their filtration and all that shit these days. So it's like, I'd say style wise, it's a 6. Like it's fine. There's nothing super amazing about it. I've definitely had a few macro lagers that are definitely better than this. At least have some sort of like characteristic to them that's unique and interesting, and whatever. Personal preference, I'll throw a 6 at it again. I could take it or leave it. A good day of like day drinking or something like that. Someone throws me a can of this, I ain't gonna say no. Honestly, it'd be a good like maintenance beer between the real beers kind of thing. So shout out to Scott. So there we go. Yeah, double 6s.
Double 6s. All right. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Ash Lexicron. How you doing tonight? What's your thoughts on this beer?
Well, I'm sort of all over the place on this one. The funny thing is, I'm going to agree with Lee 100%. There's no nuances to this beer. It's just an ultra light, blah lager. Okay. Right before this beer, I was drinking our old friend, the non-alcoholic beer from Sobeys. Oh shit.
Okay.
The Selections Blonde Lager.
Mm-hmm.
So I was drinking one of those, and then I cracked, and then I had purchased 2 cans of these, which I'll add are $3.40. This fucking beer is 4.2%.
Yeah.
Why am I getting charged $3.50 for this shit? Because it's got organic on it. Why do you think the organic is bigger than anything else on this label? That's what's selling it. Fucking bullshit. Anyways,
All right.
So, anyways, I had like a non-alcoholic beer before I had this, and then so I was done the non-alcoholic beer, and then I poured this, and then I had taken a few sips, and we were just chatting, and then my brain was tricking me like, oh man, I still have some of that non-alcoholic beer I got to get through before I crack this organic lager. But that wasn't the fucking case. I had already finished the non-alcoholic beer. I was drinking this. This tastes like a non-alcoholic beer. Actually, in fact, it doesn't taste nearly as good as the blonde lager from freaking Sobeys. So, at the end of the day, though, it's a 4.2% ultralight lager. It's screaming organic, whatever. There's no brewing faults. It tastes like corn. It's a little corny. I'm getting the same like grassy notes and stuff like that. Although for me, when I smell it, like when I really smell it, it triggers like this weird memory of like hair clippings from a razor. I don't know why. Completely weird and out there. It's probably like a mineral thing. I don't know. But as it warms, it does finish a little sweet for me as it warms. When it's drank cold and fresh right out of the can and you're just pounding it on a hot day, you'd be perfectly fine. It's going to get you where you don't want to go, which is really drunk. But if you drink a 6-pack of these, you know, it goes down easy, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, maybe to that carbonation point, maybe that's why they expect people to drink these like super fucking fast and not worry about getting all bloated and shit. So for, I don't know, macro lager, it's not my favorite. I've had way better, obviously. So I'll give it a 6 for style, and for personal, yeah, I'll just do 6s across the board. 6 and 6.
All right. Sounds look good. Thank you, Mr. Ash.
Cheers.
All right, let's go over to Leggy.
I think I remember initial swig. It tastes like that. I tasted before. It's like cigar paper, tabletop varnish, and lots of lemon. Then it died down. Barely only tastes lemon now, and my tongue's kind of numb. It's kind of freaking me out. But 6.9.
Old timers think accidents happen only to greenhorn.
Apologies.
All right, thank you, Miss. Hit the wrong one.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Yee. You get 6.9s all around. Who's next? We got Greg. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Nick. So I will actually disagree with Manly on this one. I do think the quality of this has gone down quite a bit. Now, granted, I mean, I didn't have a crazy knowledge of it anyway, but I do remember it always sort of being kind of a really neutral beer. Like, I mean, first, I'm not rating this as a macro lager, because if I rate it as a macro lager, it's like a 10 out of 10, because if I'm comparing this to like Molson Canadian or Coors Light or any of that other shit. So I am rating it as a craft lager to start. From what I remember, it was always very neutral beer. Like, it was always kind of like nothing special about it, but it was easy drinking. You drink this by a pool. To me, they've really sweetened the fuck out of it. I don't know what it is, but I find this is getting way too sweet. And like, to me, this no longer tastes like it's a light lager. Like, to me, if I didn't know it was 4.2%, I think this is like a 5.5 strong beer. So yeah, I mean, it's still not terrible, but I definitely do think there's a decline in quality. Like, I mean, based on memory, to me, this beer was always like a 7. You know, if you really like lagers, maybe like a 7.5-ish beer for style. As is for now, I'm going to go for style. I mean, let's be honest, most craft lagers aren't that great either. So for style, 6.5, personal preference, 6. Like, I'm not particularly enjoying this. Kind of a bare kind of open.
I seem to recall that it seems like your palate, you pick up sweetness a lot more than I
do pick up sweetness. Like, I find this beer like incredibly sweet, and I don't have a sweet tooth though. That's the thing, and that's why I don't really like desserts for the most part. I find sweetness is just too much for me. So
yeah, well, there you go.
Because I find this but I didn't used to find this that sweet. So is something wrong with me? I mean, we know there's stuff wrong with me.
I mean, it's just, we have different palates, so I mean,
I can't chug beer. Look, you want to see me try and chug a beer?
Yes.
Come on, Finkelstein.
Actually, it's probably good that you can't chug a beer, because the beers you tend to drink, like 4 or 5 of in a night, you would be dead.
Yeah, that's about me chugging a beer. I can't. Lady Lee, not all of us know our throats wide enough. Okay.
Yeah, imagine if Greg possessed the skill to just chug a beer in like 2.5 seconds. Like, he would be dead.
Yeah, do that with a double tempest.
No, you would do it for
Butt chugging
fun,
double
not
tempest.
realizing the consequences.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things not realizing the consequences.
He's not wrong.
Like how I spend so much time pissing off Nick, and one day he shows up and kills me.
Whoa.
Damn.
I do have the address to your new place.
What? Why would you give that out?
Because every beer mail you send
I
me
send
is...
my beer mails from here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Free
that's
beer.
you idiot. You're so dead. You're so fucking dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know it now. I know he's got like $800,000. So
As soon as New Brunswick becomes nuclear capable, I'm in trouble.
you'd be like Elon Musk and buy New Brunswick or something like that right now. It's just...
Yes. I wonder how much.
All right, Greg, I gotta take you out for a second here, just so I can put Radar in and bring Radar up here because I know he's probably had a chance to taste the beer by now. Let's see what ratings he gives. What do you think of the beer?
What's up? And how about you just keep me in there for a while because I haven't been here all day.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
Two
Just leave
things.
Greg- just leave
You're
Greg
the
back
last
there.
one here because you're late.
Well, so I mean, who's more interesting, me or Greg?
Do you really want us to answer that?
All right, get down to your flavors there.
Because someone might be watching me. Anyways, organic lager. It just, to me, it tastes like basic lager, but a little bit sweet. And I'm actually surprised that it's not shit. To be honest with you, I think it's meh. Is that how we can say it? Meh.
Meh.
But better than meh. So it's meh. Better than meh.
Meh plus.
So like I said, it just tastes like a regular macro beer, but a little bit better, I would say. So I would think I don't mind. I hate sweet beers, but this isn't too sweet, so it's like right on the cusp of like being okay for me. So yeah, I'm giving this a pass. 5.9 for style, 6.5 overall. It's
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, with I told a patron at the bar that I was just at there, and yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, I've had that beer before," and she's like, "It really is a good beer for people who are going from macro shit to whatever you want." That's what she said. Anyways, she explained it, and I forgot. Anyways, I was just at a bar, and it was a very fun place.
All right.
Kitchener is not as stupid as I thought.
Well, you've been there before.
Not only are you in Kitchener, you're in a kitchen right now.
You're in the kitchen in Kitchener.
It's like it's Inception. You're too Inception. Quick, spin a top. You might be stuck.
All right. Now I'm gonna.
No.
You're safe.
All right.
Come on.
All right. So I'm gonna just pop Radar back out, put Greg in because he probably wants to hear his response to what I'm about to say.
Right.
I have no idea what he's talking about when he's talking about this being a sweet beer. I don't think this beer is sweet at all.
I don't believe in you, Nick. You're a bad man.
You never do, Greg. You never gave me enough credit. I find it's bready. It's slightly grassy. It's not bad cold, but I just feel like it's lacking in the sweetness department. I don't get that grassy sweetness that I kind of like out of other macro beers. Like I keep wanting to have like a moosehead or something like out of this. This is so close. It doesn't have any sweetness to it. I mean, it's got a lingering herbal, earthy, metallic, copper coiny kind of thing going on in the back of the palate. It goes down super easy. There's nothing wrong with this beer. I'm finding it almost just yeasty, bready, flavorless. It's not terrible. It's just boring, Like, I mean, I wouldn't object to being handed this. I'd be like, oh, okay, Mill Street Organic, but it would definitely not be the first lager I would reach for, and that's probably why I haven't reached for it since I don't remember the last time I had it. I might have had it like in like a flight or something at the Mill Street pub and the one that's in the airport coming back home from Ontario, but it's just like it's not something I would gravitate to. I like the amber organic lager a whole lot better than this. That said, The funny part here is I am trashing on the beer, and then Lee was the one like upselling it and saying it's actually really good. It's a lot more proof. I don't think it's necessarily as good as or worse than it was before. I don't really remember it being too skunky when I first had it, but at the same time, I'm still going to give them the same rating as Lee did. So I'm going to give 6s all around. So 6 for style, 6 for overall enjoyment. It's okay. It's just
maintenance beer, right? Like,
exactly. I just want a beer that doesn't weigh heavy on the palate. It's easy to drink, goes down smooth. Sure. Yeah, I just don't expect it to be a flavor explosion in your mouth, because it absolutely is not.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do the math.
I can read comments if you like.
Oh, you want to read comments? All right, I'm gonna put Lee up to read comments, but in the process, I'm also going to take myself out so Radar can come in for a bit.
All right, cool.
I just gotta say, the flavor notes that Nick gave for this beer is the beer that I remember in my head drinking this. And it's the beer I wish I was drinking right now.
I'm sorry, but I find this kind of sweet. Not too sweet. Not sweet, but sweeter than other lagers, maybe.
Apparently, Radar and I have the same palate.
I do. Well, he says he doesn't find it too sweet. I do find it sweet as well, but like I said, I liked the balance. I thought it worked okay.
It's not cloyingly sweet, but let me put it this way: it's more the sweetness I'd sort of expect from a red lager, like not an American one that's hoppy, like just one of those old school red lagers. That's sort of the sweetness I get from this. It's, to me, it doesn't match what I would expect from a light lager. Like, I don't usually get that much sweetness from it. But.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest problem is it has nothing going on in its finish, right? Like, there's nothing there to really balance out the maltiness of it. So that's the biggest issue. So anyway, where we left off, Lee says Scotty doesn't know. She says Sasha is also watching with her. So hello, Sasha. And I put a heart there because I love Sasha.
Sasha's good people.
Yeah. Dan says I'm cooking and watching here. Lee asks what you cooking. We have beer for breakfast, facts for snacks, saying he was born in Kitchener, Ontario.
Who is beer for breakfast?
He's a beer reviewer on YouTube's somewhere.
Andrew Watts.
Andrew Watts. Okay, there we go.
Andrew
I don't know if he wanted to be doxxed, Nick, but that's fine.
Yeah, let's give his address out while we're at it, Nick.
Yeah, you got Greg's. Give that out too. I was about to say that Lee says I was about to say that, and Greg had to accept what happened. Yeah, him getting kicked out by Nick like mid sentence all the time. That's Lee Hardy says less bitter Lee, and I said that's you and Sasha's fault, which is true. Then Lee asked what percentage the beer was, and then just as she asked that, Ashley was like, "It's 4.2%. Why am I paying for this shit?" Basically, So I was like, "Yeah, that's what Ashley said." She says alcoholic water. I say pretty much beer flavored water. Just add Mio. And then Radar was in here saying Alexicron 6 Tonicron is always 66. I said beer flavored Mio would sell. I think someone who, if you're going for the non-alcoholic beer market and you just make like this really bland like thing and then add like beer flavors to it, like here, make your red ale. I think that would probably sell. Like you'd probably have to still sell to liquor stores or whatever, but no, you wouldn't have to. You could put it in the section where they sell like grenadine and shit like that. You could do that. Malt flavors and sell them. I think that would work. Trademark Lee Russell. And then Lee says, I meant add Mio to the beer so you could add flavor. So she just wants to put like, hey, let's put fruit punch flavored Mio into my beer. That's sad. That's
just straight savage, man. That's like she's like walking around dragging your knuckles with a club.
Wow.
And I mean, she wouldn't have to bend over too much because she's very close to the ground. So, she could drag her knuckles without much effort.
Short jokes.
Lee says, chug it, Greg.
Yeah,
Radar says, Greg is a chug.
Wow.
Take that as you will.
I think you mean chud.
Wow. Maybe
Lee says, chode, maybe. Lee says, you are already too sweet. I think that was directed towards Greg. Could have been directed towards me. She says she can't chug either. Raider said he did a sparkle puff at the fifth bottle off of Battle of Welland. But yeah, I read it as bottle.
Yeah.
The font on this is
I mean, come on, man. The fifth battle of
no.
You remember where we first met Guy, actually.
I've never been to Welland. Fuck you.
No, in Omicron lore, you've been there about 100 times.
God damn it. I did not consent to this beer Nomicron shit.
You don't need to. It's done.
Lee says that Greg is the sacrificial beer reviewer, which is true. Again, this is going back to Greg getting cut off by Nick all the time.
I just want to make it clear that Nick did it to me without consent.
He did, and I said that Greg is the gimp of this hangout.
Yeah, that's true. He put the zipper on me.
We put the zipper on you. Yeah, we'd probably stop that before Quentin Tarantino sues me.
He might.
And Greg says, Nick just removed me before I said something offensive. Smart. Lee says, Nick knew. I said, I noticed that too. Lee says Nick has the gift of foresight when it comes to Greg's offensive comments. That was probably a thing. He's got Greg. He's got Gregdar.
Oh shit.
And Greg says Nick has me on a 10-second delay, and then Lady Lee asks the pressing question, "What's next week's beer?" Radar does it as well, but less articulately.
And
I'm
the most articulate of all of us.
That's basically the Radar story. He did something, but less articulately.
Nick talks about me and.
Shut up.
I think Nick was talking about either me and Radar or Radar and Greg having the same baby palate. I couldn't remember what context.
Probably me and Radar, since we both find the beer sweet.
It's Pilati.
It was Greg and Radar.
Okay, I agree then. And then Lee says that's smart, Nick. Greg can't be left uncensored. And then she says, no, the sweet comment was for Greg, of course.
Yeah, I'm the sweet one.
Mm-hmm.
The sweet Pilati.
Yeah.
I'm just trash on the road, I guess.
Cloyingly sweet. I took Greg out so he could respond to that.
Man.
All right, so let's go back out, and I'm going to share my screen so we can show the scores.
There we go. That's I like that score for that. That's fine.
It's pretty mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
mediocre
pretty,
at best.
It's pretty baby palate.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the scores, and of course the magic question. Considering Lee is not in the chat this week, she has asked what this week's beer is, next week's beer is, and well, let's say that next week isn't going to be any more exciting than this week. Maybe it is, depending upon
another organic beer.
Whether you like another classic macro of sorts. This is
Molson Dry,
the IPA in name only. We're going to take a look at the Nova Scotia Classic Alexander Keith's India Pale Ale, which actually has some interesting story to it. So
okay. Now I wish Ukraine bombs us. I mean Russia bombs.
Ukraine.
I mean Russia bombs.
You got nothing to complain about.
I have nothing kind to say about Russia or Russians.
Yeah. Anyway, so, I guess I'm amazed that like both Mill Street Organic and Alexander Keith's Pale India Pale Ale is beers that we haven't done before. The panel.
Oh yeah, Lee says she hadn't had it yet, and she was supposed to. We were supposed to have one when we met up in October, but we never did. So.
You haven't had an Alexander Keith's before?
She's never had it.
What?
Even dancing, he might show up because he might. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's enough maritime expats.
Dan was going
to let you in
tonight too, and didn't show up. So
yeah, no, he said he was going to be here. Then he ended up making food for his family.
What a fucking piece of shit!
Guess your priorities.
Jesus Christ!
Taking care of his family. What a scumbag! God damn it!
Sorry, Ash, I failed you. Alrighty, so I think we've got way too many people in this chat, and I don't really want to leave Greg out too long because otherwise he starts to swear more.
Oh, but you mean when he comes back? So yeah, go ahead, switch me out.
Jesus, okay.
That's quick. He's like, go ahead, sweet treat.
Hair trigger right there. That was awesome.
Hey, baby, can I seduce you with me ordering some Boston pizza? I'll get some extra pepperoni on it, some mushrooms. Yeah, I'm such a good cook, baby.
It's like, this is Dan or Greg?
Wow.
Well, either we're both phoning it in, so it doesn't matter.
Whoa!
Okay. So I think it's time to sign off so we can jump over to Discord. But I want to thank everybody for watching. I just want to say, if you're still watching, to hi to Andrew Watts. Sorry, I didn't acknowledge your post.
Hey, Andrew Watts.
Yeah, Andrew. He was born in Kitchener. Then maybe go hang out with Radar. Anyway, so so thanks for watching. Next week we're gonna go do the Nova Scotia Maritime Classic, an IPA in name only, because they've been basically grandfathered into being able to use the name for whatever this is. Literally, I had one earlier tonight, and I compared it to the Carling Black Label of IPAs, because it's pretty much closer to that.
How dare you insult my province and my people, Nick? You're scumbag tonight.
Wow.
Hey, keep in mind, I'm actually
the most unusual party you've ever attended.
We have Nova
These
Scotia,
people
but
are
okay.
deliberately getting drunk, with the later intention, once they're under the influence, of driving automobiles. Under the supervision not only of safety officials and police officers, but the Parent Teachers Association and the State of Nevada Medical Association.
Yeah.
Double fisting the organic. Oh, they're both
Penis.